Class, this is Fabio Gallego, and today we are going to understand comparative adjectives. Very good, but let's analyze what is a comparative and what is adjective. Do you have any idea? Comparative is for describe things, describir cosas, right? Let's get this straight. An example. Look at this. This is what animal? A dog. Very good. And what is this animal? A cat. Very good. So let's compare. Vamos a compararlos. What is the first thing you can identify? Lo que primero pueden identificar. The dog is bigger than the cat. Again, the dog is bigger than the cat. Or the dog is taller than the cat. El perro es más alto que el gato, right? So those are the main differences between those animals, right? Very good. Now let's analyze adjectives. What is an adjective? What do we use for adjectives? Basically, to describe nouns. But what is a noun? Do you have any idea? Of course, a noun could be sometimes a color, an animal, person, maybe people, places, and so on. So, nouns we are going to describe with adjectives. Let's analyze. This dog is a noun. This dog is a noun. Este perro es un sustantivo, right? Okay, so what characteristics can you give in order to describe the dog? ¿Qué características pueden darle al perro para describirlo? Okay, very good. Is tall. What is the color? Remember, the color is an adjective. Brown, very good. Entonces, el perro es café. The dog is brown. Basically, this is an adjective, right? So, adjectives are words that describes things. An example on adjective. Examples, ejemplos. Big. Another example. Beautiful, hermosa. And what is the opposite? Very good. El opuesto, ugly. Muy bien, very good. So, there are two ways to compare nouns. Hay dos formas de comparar sustantivos, right? So, let's analyze the way or the grammatical structure, right? The dog. Do you remember the first adjective I used? ¿Recuerdan el adjetivo que usé para describirlo? Very good. Big. But we need to analyze the structure, right? We need, in order to do comparisons, the adjective, we have to add are and than. Profe, ¿cómo así? I am going to explain, don't worry. Look at this. Big. What is big? Grande, muy bien. So, the dog is big. El perro es grande. But I need to compare the dog with the cat, right? So, vamos a decir que el perro es más grande que el gato. Entonces, no podemos usar big. We can't use big. Look at this. Adjective big, right? We have to add are. In this case, grande, big. Más grande, bigger than the cat. Entonces, el perro es más grande que el gato. The dog is bigger than the cat. And the another way to compare is when the word has two or more syllables. ¿Cómo así, profe? Si la palabra tiene dos o más sílabas. Vamos a explicarlo. Let's get this straight. Okay, so let's continue in here. Remember, if the noun has 2, 3 or more syllables, in order to make comparisons, we have to add, tenemos que agregar more plus más the adjective. Right? ¿Cómo así? Un adjetivo que tenga dos o más sílabas. What about beautiful? Hermosa. Beautiful. Beautiful. Tree, right? Okay. So I can say that, look at this. The dog, this is the noun, the dog, is more, es más. Beautiful than. Recuerden, chicos, que than no es negociable en comparativos. Than es que. Claro, el perro con respecto a qué? El gato. The dog is more beautiful than the cat. Easy peasy. Facilito. ¿Sí o qué? Very good. But let's analyze what is a syllable, right? Remember, a syllable is a sound that you can hear or you can listen to in a word, right? For example, big, big. Look at this. How many sounds do you hear? How many sounds do you listen to in the word big? Only one, right? Big, right? So how many vowels can you identify? ¿Cuántas vocales pueden identificar? Una, right? Remember the vowels. Do you remember the vowels? Okay. We have A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes for comparative adjectives we use Y. Sometimes, right? So, big, how many vowels has? Only one, right? Y. But what about apple, manzana? How many sounds can you identify? Apple. Two, right? Look at this. Two vowels. Apple, right? But it's not because of the amount of vowels. No es solamente por la cantidad de vocales, sino por el sonido. For example, how many vowels can you identify? ¿Cuántas vocales identifican? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pero ¿cuántos sonidos escuchan? Beautiful. Beautiful. Right? So, let's continue. So, let's give an example. Do you remember how many syllables has the word, the adjective beautiful? Very good. Beautiful. 3 has 3, right? So, the dog is more. El adjetivo, el innegociable ¿dan qué? ¿Que quién? El perro es más bonito que. The dog is more beautiful than the cat. The dog is more beautiful. Coloqué una T, muchachos, y es una L. Beautiful. Bien. Than the cats, right? Okay, another example. Let's use another adjective. Usemos otro adjetivo. El big, que lo hemos venido usando tanto, right? Big. Entonces, the dog is. ¿Será que usamos more acá en el adjetivo big? Recuerden, remember that we use or we add more only if the adjective has 3 or more syllables, right? Recuerden que usamos more si el adjetivo tiene 3 o más sílabas. En este caso, in this case, big, how many have? Very good, 1, big. In this case, the dog is bigger. Bigger. Remember the rule I explained at the beginning. Recuerden la regla que expliqué al inicio, right? Bigger than the cat. Right? Okay, but remember that there are some things that might change. Hay cositas que pueden cambiar. There are some irregular adjectives. Hay verbos irregulares, como la palabra lo dice, irregulares. Algo cambia. Let's give an example. The adjective bad, right? Pero que con las reglas que hemos venido observando, podemos usar badder, para decir que una pelota vieja es peor que una pelota nueva. Entonces, the ball is badder, es peor que qué? Than that one. Cuando digo that one es esa otra. Entonces la pelota es peor que esa otra. Bueno, en el bajo mundo del inglés, badder podría operar, pero gramaticalmente no opera. Mucho cuidado con eso, muchachos. Entonces, badder no existe. En lugar de badder, podríamos colocar el worse, right? The ball is worse than that one. La pelota es peor que esa otra. Un ejemplo un poco somero, pero opera. Another example with another adjective is good. Good. No vamos a usar gooder, right? The comparative of good is better. Bueno, mejor. Okay, so iPhone 15, un ejemplo. iPhone 15, el iPhone 15 o iPhone cualquiera, iPhone is better, el iPhone es mejor, iPhone is better, right? ¿Qué viene después? El than, el que, than. Oppo, I don't remember, no recuerdo la marca, digámosle que Oppo. It's an example, right? Entonces, mira, no podemos usar good, recuerden que gooder no existe. Good, muy bien, tiene dos vocales, pero ¿cuántas sílabas? No decimos good, decimos good, right? Entonces, the iPhone is better than Oppo. Very good, guys. So thank you so much. Remember, you can play the video from the beginning if you have any doubts. Thank you so much and have a good one.